What's up, y'all? It's Sophie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sophie Say. I make YouTube videos about anything and I post them whenever I want. I switched up my location spot. Normally I shoot my videos in my room, but now we have an open spare room since I don't have a roommate anymore. And the lighting is super good in here, so welcome to the new spot. It's so nice and refreshing to have this extra room and extra space and no roommate. My energy just feels so much more clean and like my aura feels like how it should be. I don't have a block anymore. Like the roommate we had was just a negative energy block, and I finally feel like I'm being fully myself again, and it's been great, especially during this hard time with staying at home and not having my normal routine. It's been good to be able to like fully be open and be myself and do what I want to do and walk around naked and you know. But anyway, today I'm gonna talk about my birth chart. I'm gonna go through the Costar app. If you don't have Costar, I highly recommend it. It's like my favorite astrology app. It's actually like to the point, and it's not just like some thing that will match up to anyone. Like it actually gets deep and goes through like each one of your houses in your chart, like what it means, and it's very in-depth, and I recommend it to anyone that likes astrology. So I'm not like a huge pro on astrology. I know a lot about it. I was in a club my first year of college. Like I tried to learn as much as I can about it, but it's kind of confusing, like knowing all what the numbers mean on the chart and like what each planet stands for and what each sign is. Like I always have to look stuff up, but I try my hardest to be knowledgeable about it all. But I know your chart has a bunch of different signs rather than just your sun sign, which is what everyone knows. And then you have your moon and your rising sign, which is like more popular now, more people know it. But you also have like Mercury and Uranus and Neptune, like every planet has a sign. Okay, yeah, so we're just gonna go through each sign, what it means. I'm just gonna start from the first one and go all the way down. So, first is the obvious sign that everyone really knows about themselves. I'm a Taurus. It's Taurus season. Hey, turn the frick up. May 18th is my birthday. Taurus season begins on the best week of April, 420, bicycle day, all these awesome holidays, and Taurus season. Best time of the year. Spring, everything's coming to life. It's just such a happy, positive time. I love it. Okay, so your sun sign is what determines your ego, your identity, and your role in life. It says that it's the core of who you are, and it's the sign that you're most likely to already know. My sun is in Taurus, which means that I'm fundamentally stable, deliberate, and practical, though I'm somewhat stubborn. I'm seriously the most stubborn person ever, and I'm not one of those people that's like gonna blame my flaws on my sign. Like obviously, I have to own up to the flaws I have and like correct them and try to not be that way, but it's facts that I am that way. So I hate when people use that argument about like why astrology is bad, because like people just want to blame their bad habits on it, and like that's not true at all. You're not blaming it, you're just accepting the fact that that's who you are, and you have to do that with your flaws. My sensual side takes comfort and pleasure very seriously. I appreciate nice things when they're useful and meaningful. People appreciate how reliable you are. And then it says that it's in my 6th house, which means you feel the need to distinguish yourself from others through routines. That's very incredibly accurate. Of course, I appreciate nice things. I think my ego matches Taurus very strongly. I know it's a Taurus thing to be like materialistic, and even though I try so hard to be minimalist, I am very materialistic. It's just who I am, I'll admit it. Yeah, I'm a Taurus to a T. And next is my moon sign. My moon is in Sagittarius. So the moon rules your emotions, moods, and feelings. It's likely the sign you most think of yourself as, since it reflects your personality when you're alone or when you're deeply comfortable. So your moon sign is like what you act like when people aren't around, or like your true self. Like your ego is what you want everyone to like perceive you as almost, or like what you just come across as naturally. But your moon sign is that deep down inner child. My moon is in Sagittarius, which means that my emotional self is restless, self-questioning, optimistic, and independent. You may hide your sensitivities behind an interest in finding new ways to feel. It's in my 12th house, which means you find security and safety through privacy, secrets, and introspection. Interesting. This is kind of fancy wording, but I'm interpreting this as like my hoops. You may hide your sensitivities behind an interest in finding new ways to feel. Like, I don't know, I feel like I express my emotions through my hooping like literally all day, every day. So that's what I'm interpreting that as. That could mean something completely different, but I'm gonna take it like that. I like that. I'm definitely restless. I always want to be doing something. Otherwise I feel like weird. Like this time being stuck in the house, I need to get out. That's why I've been going outside so much. Even though we've been told to stay inside, I've been out in nature like every single day, and that's the only thing keeping me going. It says my emotional self is self-questioning. I feel like that's very true. I'm always like questioning myself, like whether I should post something, whether I should talk about something, whether I should make a video about something, like whether I should wear this or wear that, and that's just part of my anxiety, but I guess it's part of my moon in Sagittarius as well. And then my rising or ascendant sign is in Sagittarius as well. Your rising sign is the mask that you present to people. It can be seen in your personal style and how you come off to people when you first meet. Some say it becomes less relevant as you get older. It changes every 2 hours, so if it doesn't make sense, text your mom to confirm your birth time. Oh, yeah. So like your signs matter based on like what time you were born. So I guess for your rising sign, it changes every 2 hours, so you have to know like what time you were born if you want to know all your signs. You can't just like estimate like, oh, it was at night, so let's go with this hour. You gotta know the hour, otherwise it's just not accurate. And then that can lead to you thinking astrology is fake, and it's not. But yeah, my ascendant is in Sagittarius, which means that I come off as independent, optimistic, and confident, though sometimes overly blunt or critical. Generally a charming conversationalist, your free-spirited approach may come off as restless or easily bored. That is so weird because that is me. I just had to like post on social media explaining myself and why I'm so blunt about things because I offended people, and I really didn't mean to offend people, because when I share information about things, I'm doing it to help raise awareness and to like raise consciousness, and I don't know, I just want to explain things that I care about and that I'm passionate about, and instead of being like gentle and like soft about it, I just put it out there how it should be so that it gets people's attention. And I guess sometimes it comes across as harsh, but I never intend to be like coming on to anyone or like coming at anyone. I don't like confrontation. I'm not a type of person that would just like call somebody out or try to make them feel stupid. It's always me trying to help somebody. But yeah, so that's just really ironic and relevant. It says I come across as independent, optimistic, and confident. I did like a survey for one of my classes, and a lot of people said those things, so I'm glad I come off confident. I'm also very self-conscious, so I think it's funny how you can come off as a certain way, but then like personally you don't think that at all about yourself, but other people do. It's just interesting. I know I'm optimistic. I've always been an optimistic person, or at least I try to be. Overly blunt or critical. That's just like funny because it's funny. Okay, moving on. And my Mercury is in Gemini. Your Mercury sign determines how you communicate, talk, think, and process information. And it also indicates how you learn. It's the mind's planet. Your Mercury is in Gemini, meaning your intellect is dynamic, quick-witted, and eclectic. You're deeply curious about everything, and your energy is often scattered in a million directions. The way you speak is articulate and witty, but you're likely to talk behind people's backs. Okay. It's in your 6th house, meaning you are curious about and inclined to analyze your productivity, how to help people, and your emotional well-being. Okay. Mercury determines how you communicate, so it says that I'm inclined on how to help people. So the fact that Mercury goes with communication and helping people, I'm trying to communicate things to help people. So boom. It says that I'm deeply curious about everything, and my energy is scattered in a million directions. My energy is everywhere all the time, doing a million things all the freaking time, wanting to know about everything all the time. It says the way you speak is articulate and witty, but you're likely to talk behind people's backs. I don't like that. Costar's coming at me. I guess Costar knows more about me than I know about myself, so moving on. All right, my Venus. Venus in Taurus. Venus determines how and what you love. It indicates how you express affection and the qualities you're attracted to. Your Venus is in Taurus, meaning your romantic side is oriented toward comfort and stability. You move slowly and deliberately at the beginning of relationships. That timidity sometimes comes off as intimidating. You just want something sweet and simple. It's in your 5th house, meaning that for you, love is often expressed in romance, self-expression, creativity, and pleasure. So your Venus determines how and what you love. I feel like that's easy to remember. Like Venus, I'm your Venus. Like makes you think about love and like romance. But yeah, it indicates how you express affection and the qualities you're attracted to. Comfort and stability, that's definitely what I have in my relationship and what I like wanted to have. For you, love is often expressed in self-expression, creativity. I feel that, I feel it. Moving on, this one isn't that great or that like relevant at the moment, but it's accurate. Mars in Gemini. So Mars is the planet of aggression, and we really want to go live there. We want to live on the planet of aggression. It determines how you assert yourself, take action in the energy that surrounds you, particularly in your sex life, your ambitionness, and when you're angry. My Mars is in Gemini, meaning that I assert myself in a way that is quick and heady. And I push things forward with lots of energy and sometimes without focus. That is spot on. Going back to like the thing that I posted something and people got offended by. I posted something that I wanted to about fast fashion, like Zaful and Shein and all those places. Their labor is super inhumane and they use child labor and like really dangerous work conditions for their people that make the product, and that's why it's so cheap and that's why it takes months to ship to you. And I was just trying to post that so people know, like I'm not coming at anybody. But this is accurate because it says that I push things forward with lots of energy, though sometimes without focus. I feel like I wasn't really focused on saying it in a nice way. I was just more focused on getting the information out there. So I probably could have been less harsh. I assert myself quickly and headily. It's in my 6th house, which means that I put a lot of energy into routines. That's very, very accurate. I really miss having my like work and school routine. Okay, my Jupiter is in Taurus. It's one of the 2 social planets. Jupiter rules idealism, optimism, and expansion. It's also very philosophical. My Jupiter is in Taurus, meaning that I grow and find understanding through stability, security, and careful thought. Interesting. It's in my 5th house, meaning I find success through romance, self-expression, creativity, and pleasure. That's pretty accurate, that I find success through self-expression and creativity. That's like my life. That's all I do. Is express myself through different creative outlets. That's my life. That's me. My Saturn is in Taurus. So my Saturn in Taurus means it's the other social planet. Saturn rules responsibility, restrictions, limits, boundaries, fear, and self-discipline. It's a lot. My Saturn is in Taurus, meaning that I struggle with settling too easily, a lack of imagination, and getting stuck in the mud or distracted by sensory pleasure. It's in your 5th house, meaning you have had difficulties with romance, self-expression, creativity, and pleasure. What? So I struggle with settling too easily. Does that mean I'm indecisive? I think I'm getting that means I'm indecisive. I struggle with settling too easily. Yeah, I can't pick shit for shit. Literally, when I was about to dye my hair red, you can't even really tell, but I dyed my hair red. It's a lot brighter in the sun. But I was sitting on the ground in CVS with red and purple hair dye. And I was in there for probably 30 minutes questioning which one I should get, literally Snapchatting people like, please help, I can't choose. And I bought both of them, came home, still couldn't decide. Had to sleep on it, still couldn't decide. So I just randomly picked one and boom, I have red hair now. There's an example of how I can't settle for anything. A lack of imagination. I guess that can be true sometimes. Yeah, I can have a lack of imagination sometimes, I guess. Or like when I'm watching TV shows, I always have to like point out flaws, like things that aren't realistic. And Trevin's like, dude, it's a show. Like, can we just watch the show or the movie and you not freaking talk about how it's not real. Okay, moving on. My Uranus in Aquarius. My anus is in Aquarius. Just kidding. Uranus stays in each sign for 7 years. Dang. Meaning it rules a generation more than a person. Wow, that's cool. So like everyone that was born around 2000, the year I was born, is in Aquarius. Or within like 7 years. That's cool. We're the Aquarius generation. It rules innovation, rebellion, and progress. Your Uranus is in Aquarius, meaning other generations are shocked by your generation's unconventionality, intellectuality, and detachedness. Interesting, I like it. It's in your second house, meaning that for you, this manifests in rebelling against dated expectations about money and material possessions. Bro, I'm literally planning on dropping everything and traveling the country and living in a van. This manifests in rebelling against dated expectations about money and material possessions. Do what makes you happy and the rest will figure itself out. I love that. I love that that's what our generation stands for. It's like changing the expectations of what society wants you to do. Hell yeah. Neptune in Aquarius. So, Neptune stays in each sign for around 14 years, meaning again, it rules a generation more than a person. It rules dreams, imagination, and the unconscious. Your Neptune is in Aquarius, meaning your entire generation finds inspiration through detached analysis and intellectual pursuits. In your second house, meaning that for you, this manifests in your ideal, verging on unrealistic and impractical about money and material possessions. Verging on unrealistic and impractical, okay? It's like crushing my dreams right there. But it manifests in my ideal, so even if they're saying it's unrealistic and impractical, I'm manifesting it and it's gonna happen. Interesting. I like that it says your entire generation finds inspiration through detached analysis and intellectual pursuits. All right, moving on. Pluto in Sagittarius. This is the last one. Pluto stays in each sign for up to 30 years. Dang, so that's a big ass generation. It rules power, intensity, obsession, and control. My Pluto is in Sagittarius, meaning my generation's psyche is comparatively positive, free-spirited, curious, optimistic, forward-looking, independent, and confident. Yeah. Oh, I can't say damn it. Hell yeah, I like that. It's in your 12th house, meaning you personally are transforming outdated expectations of privacy, secrets, and introspection. Yeah, I feel like doing YouTube videos is kind of transforming outdated expectations of privacy because I just get on here and talk about everything in my life. Expectations of introspection, yeah, I'm like sharing everything that is in here with my camera, with you. Our generation's psyche is positive, free-spirited, curious, optimistic, forward-looking, independent, and confident. I like that. Heck yeah. So that's my chart. That's who I am. It's pretty dang accurate if you're asking me. Costar knows me better than I know myself. If we have any similar characteristics or any matching signs or signs that are super compatible, let me know. I would love to know. Comment down below. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe down below, down here. Well, yeah, that's all for today. So I'll see you guys next time.